All right, so I'm in the top 5% nationally among realtors for sales, and these are the 10 biggest lessons I've learned in my career for success. If you listen to these lessons and apply them in your business from the start, I guarantee your odds of success will go through the roof, and before long, you will be making a lot of money. Let's get right into it. So number one, right off the bat, you're in sales. I'm not gonna yell, but I probably should yell in your face. You're in sales. Now, why am I saying this? Because honestly, at least half of agents who get into this industry, they have no idea they're in sales. I've talked about it before, so I'm going to keep it brief. They think they're going to go work for a brokerage that's going to tell them what to do, provide leads, and treat them like an employee. You're not an employee, you're an independent contractor. Your broker really doesn't care about you. I mean, I know that's going to be crass and people may comment and fight back, but I honestly think it's better for your mindset if you don't involve the brokerage in your success in any way. You know, if I have any saying that I haven't heard anyone else say, successful agents would be successful at any brokerage. If you go into this industry thinking the brokerage will make you successful, I guarantee you will fail. So back to you're in sales. Why do I say this? Because people don't know it. What does it mean to be in sales? It means talk to people. It means call people. It means post on social media. It means host open houses. It means send people letters and gifts, check in with people, put yourself out there. If that sounds dreadful for you, that's okay. I don't think this line of work is for you, and that's totally okay, but it's really important you understand what you're getting into before you invest your time, effort, and energy to do it. Now, I get a lot of kickback on this from agents who idealize being an agent. They are so wrapped up in being the best real estate agent for their client. Listen, of course you're going to be the best real estate agent possible. You think I don't want to do a good job for my clients? I mean, that goes without saying. The fact that I'm emphasizing you're in sales has no bearing on the level of integrity or service you provide to your clients. That's a given. But guess what? You are not going to be able to show your integrity or service if you don't do the selling portion, because you're not going to have any clients to work with. So the number one thing you need to understand before getting into this industry, or if you're already here, is that you're in sales and you need to be a good salesperson to succeed. Number two, track habits, not results. Especially early on, if you're only gauging your success by results, by the amount of money that you're making or homes you're selling, you're going to have a stretch where you're probably pretty disappointed in yourself and maybe feeling really down. And the mental aspect of this business is huge, okay? So track habits over results. And what are those habits? Mostly lead generation, right? You're going to decide what kind of lead generation that you want to do, and your habits should be getting better at that, executing it and studying it and speaking with people who do it at a high level. Those are your habits. And there's plenty of other habits. You can track habits like learning. You can track habits like, working out, meditating. You can track habits in your personal life and in your real estate life. But I'm just saying this to say that, let's say you go your first 6 months without selling anything, but you can look back at the habits that you've tracked and you can say, I have consistently done X, Y, and Z over this period of time. Even though you don't have any sales, I'd be willing to bet you're on the way to becoming highly successful. Because this is the beautiful part about real estate. We know exactly what it takes to succeed. Exactly. It's an open playbook. There's no mystery. A lot of careers, business in general, they feel very mysterious. Real estate sales is not mysterious. All the top agents are all doing the same stuff, and it all involves lead generating consistently at a high level every day, right? So look at the habits, learn the habits of successful agents, implement them, and track them, and worry a little bit less about the results at first. And number two flows right into number three, track skills over sales. This might seem a little redundant, but there is small differences here, right? At the end of the day, you should really be judging yourself on the skills you develop, because let's just say, for example, cold calling FSBOs and expireds. If you track your habits for making your calls every day, for studying the best cold callers, and researching and implementing it and doing whatever you can to improve that aspect of your game, you now have the skill of high-level cold calling. Do you know how valuable that is, right? It doesn't have to be cold calling. For me, it's social media. I have the skill of creating social media content that generates leads. If I decide I don't want to do real estate anymore, do you think that could track into another industry? Yes, it definitely could. Anything sales related, that skill is going to benefit me, whether it's selling insurance or selling a widget, it doesn't matter. So this is a great way to insulate yourself from disappointment. If you're not selling as much as you want, you feel like you want to be further along, look at the skills that you've learned. If you have not sold anything for a whole year, but you are now really good at creating content or calling people, and you know this because you're getting appointments and you're having longer conversations, right? Obviously, there needs to be an indicator of how you're improving. Well, that's a beautiful thing, and it's way more important than how much money you made that year, because it's going to fluctuate. It's going to fluctuate on the market. It's going to fluctuate in how you grow in your career. But I guarantee you, if you have consistent habits that develop high-level skills, you will never lack for money because you can take those skills into many other industries. So don't focus so much on being the rookie rockstar agent at your brokerage and selling 35 homes in your first year. Focus on your discipline, your daily habits, and the skills that you're going to develop, because you can take skills anywhere in life. Number 4, business is unlimited. Say it with me. Business is unlimited. This is really going to help with your mindset, okay? Because I promise you, you're going to deal with a lot of disappointment and failure in this gig. You're going to lose out on listing appointments. You're going to lose out on buyer appointments. You're going to get fired from a listing. You're going to get fired as a buyer's agent. You're going to see colleagues and friends and people that you think you're better than do better than you, right? And if you're not protective of your mindset, you're going to get depressed. You're going to take less action, and you run the risk of failing. Here's what I want you to understand. Truly, business is unlimited. And all you have to do to verify this is look at your hot sheets. Okay, that's the new listings every day in your market. For us, they're called hot sheets. Whatever market you're in, there's some way to look up all the homes that were listed on the market that day in your area. It is more homes than you could possibly imagine to sell, right? I mean, you only have to sell like 10 homes to make $100,000 or more. So you're going to tell me that the competition is too high? I mean, this is ironic because, listen, there's a billion real estate agents. I get it. But like 900 million of them aren't that good. The cream always rises to the top, and business is truly unlimited. If you want to succeed in this industry, you must have a bulletproof mindset. You got fired? Who cares? Not who cares. You want to learn from everything. You want to correct mistakes. You want to be reflective. You want to be honest with yourself without beating yourself up. But you know what I'm saying. Move on. There's more business. This will help you in so many ways. This will cause you to be less combative and cagey with agents. This will cause your anxiety to go down, okay? I promise. Business is unlimited. There's a reason why the cream always rises to the top. Again, let's pull back, big picture. We know what it takes to succeed and make lots of money in real estate sales, okay? Gary Keller wrote the book on it, $1 Million Real Estate Agent, okay? You can read books by any top producers. They're all gonna talk about relationships and checking in a certain amount of time so you can be top of mind. It's all about lead generation, consistent habits, developing skills to provide value. The problem is most people can't do it because it takes a long time without results at first. So all you have to do is run this marathon without expecting anything, knowing that business is unlimited, and you will win out over people with a limited mindset, because when you have a scarcity mindset, you make bad decisions. You might switch brokerages on the fly because you think the brokerage is why you're not successful. You might switch teams. You could take all sorts of drastic action that was totally unnecessary. You just did it because you were scared. I promise you, business is unlimited. Number 5, action over everything. This is one of the biggest lessons for me. Have you ever heard of analysis paralysis? All right, procrastination essentially. This is me to a T. I would rather sit and research something for hours than take action on it because I want it to be perfect, right? I want to know the whole history of something. I want to know the ins and outs and the details. And when I execute, I want it to be perfect. I want people to be impressed, and I want it to be right the first time. Meanwhile, I'm getting destroyed by the guy or girl who is less concerned with perfection, and they took 2, 3, 4 times as much action in the time that I was sitting around thinking about doing stuff. Action is more important than preparation. It's more important than intelligence. It's more important than looks. It's more important than anything. In the hierarchy of importance, taking action, in my opinion, is number 1. Tom Kroll, who I'm a big fan of, has a massive wholesaling company, always says, massive imperfect action. Why? It's really obvious when you think about it. When you sit around thinking about what to do, you have no idea if it's going to work or not. When you take action, you get direct feedback. It either worked and you can double down on it, or it didn't work, you can adjust and move forward. But I promise you, the most successful people in life are not the most intelligent. They are the ones that are the most fearless and the ones that take the most action consistently. So if you've been sitting down analyzing the best CRM, the best website, the best brokerage, there's a time and a place for that, but be very wary of spending too much time. You should absolutely limit all research before you start it to avoid getting into the black hole of analysis paralysis. Number 6, your network is your net worth. And if you get into real estate, you will hear this all the time at whatever brokerage that you join. And it's really true. And this is one of my biggest faults or blind spots, right? I'm a introvert, lone wolf type, and I've had success in spite of that. But I'll tell you what, the most successful agents have big, wealthy networks, right? They're good at connecting with other agents or other high net worth individuals. They're popular, they have hobbies, right? You know what I'm talking about. You know that, guy or gal that they just light up a room and it seems like everything they do is effortless. Some people are born with a personality that is perfect for real estate, and good for them. But if that's not you, instead of, crying about it or saying it's unfair, you need to take practical action to change it. So what can you do? Get some hobbies, right? Join some groups, spend some time in the circles of the people that you want to do business with, right? There's plenty of practical things that you can do, but this is just some advice. It's not as prescient as some of the other things I'm saying, but you want to start now. You want to start now really thinking about what the audience is you're trying to reach. You want to evaluate your friendship and sphere of influence and see, how big it is or how small it is. And if it's very small, like mine was, you really want to start right now and taking steps to enlarge it. This is going to bear fruit in so many different ways, not just sales, in resources, connections. People will help you in different ways, but you've got to have a network of people that you've provided value to. So if you're a lone wolf introvert like me, it's okay. You can absolutely be highly successful in this industry, but you got to stretch your comfort zone a little bit. You've got to, join a Toastmasters group or a Bible study or learn a new language with a group. You've got to get some hobbies. You've got to go maybe do your work from a St. Regis or a nice Hilton, right? You've got to do some things to put yourself out there and take practical steps to increase your network. All right, number 8 is create value. Now notice what I didn't say. Provide value. I said create value. Here's the distinction. When I first got into real estate, I would hear this phrase all the time. In addition to your network is your net worth, what you'll hear is you need to provide value. And I was always like, what does that mean? I'm a literal person, right? I had no idea, how do I provide value? What do you want me to do? And that's why I wrote create value, because I think this distinction will maybe unlock this for some of you. Because when I step back and I look at the actions that I've taken and the actions I've seen other people take that produce big results, it's about creating something. And it's not too dissimilar from society, and whether it's an artist or an engineer, right? There is a lot of fruit from creating, right? And so I create videos about my market that help people who are relocating here get to know it. The best schools, the safe places, so on and so forth. Anything that you could be searching for. I create videos. So you could create videos, you could create a booklet, you could write a book, you could host a seminar, you could write a blog, right? Cheat sheet for new home buyers. You could create little gift bags to drop off to your past clients. We call those pop buys. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to articulate is you have to create something, right? And that's a big piece of providing value. So what can you create? It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It can be very simple. But I've just found that when you initiate the action of creating something, especially when you put time, effort, and energy into it, the universe rewards you. It creates real value, and this is what people want to work with you with, okay? And what does not create value, okay? Your email signature does not create value. Your website could create value, but usually very low amount of value. I've seen some kick-ass websites that do create a lot of value, but I would put that pretty low on the list. And unfortunately, that's something agents focus too much on. Okay, your branding and even, your appearance and your business cards. I mean, important stuff, not saying it's not important. It's not really creating value for people, right? You can just sit and write a Facebook post. 5 lessons I've learned helping people purchase or sell homes. That's creating value. Someone will probably get value out of that. So don't take for granted the knowledge that you already have, or don't ever feel like the knowledge is overly simple. But I'm just saying that the universe does reward creators. And so if you can find a way to create in this industry, I think you'll do very well. Number 9, systems will save you. Now, this isn't as time sensitive as all the other top ones that I've mentioned, but systems really will save you in a bunch of different ways. 2 main ways. Number 1, systems will save your service, right? The more systems that you have that are dialed in, the way less likely you are to make a mistake, way less likely to miss a deadline. When you create systems, and listen, this doesn't have to be complicated. When you create a system for a buyer from start to finish, outlining milestones and what will need to happen, and maybe writing a few email templates and, just getting stuff prepared ahead of time, this is going to drastically increase the level of service you're providing your clients, and it's going to drastically reduce the chances that you make a major mistake. So that's good because your level of service is going to have a huge role in how much business is referred to you. The other piece of this comes into play when you become successful, right? The double-edged sword of success in real estate is that if you're successful, you don't have time to do anything. Honestly, you can't take a vacation if you're successful in real estate and you don't have systems. Trust me, I've tried to do it. Because if you've got deals going and you just got an inspection report back and you're on the beach, you got to go inside and, talk with your client about what you want to write up in an amendment to address concerns. If you're not selling anything, you can go to all the vacations that you want. So systems are going to be doubly important as you scale and become more successful. So don't put them off to the last minute. Start now. Again, doesn't have to be complicated. Simple stuff. Just write out what you do as you do it and keep that and come back to it and refine it and add things into it. That will put you so far ahead of the game, you won't even believe it. When I talked before about the cream rises to the top, this is stuff that most agents just aren't even coming close to doing. Most agents aren't lead generating consistently, and certainly most agents are not creating systems early on to increase the level of service or to prepare for an increased level of business. So start creating some systems. All right, and finally, number 10, when in doubt, do more, right? Alex Hormozy has a great anecdote about when he was launching a gym and putting out flyers, and he put out like a few hundred, went back to the guy who told him that's what worked, putting out flyers. He asked him how many he put out, and when Alex said 500, the guy laughed and he's like, I put out, a few thousand just as my test study. You got to do more than what you think. The 10X principle. I'm not a huge Grant Cardone fan, but especially when you know something works, you got to double down on it and do more of it. Don't spread yourself thin, go deep in what works, right? Social media works for me. Rather than trying to get into cold calling FSBOs and expireds, I'm going to produce more videos. I'm going to make more YouTube videos, and I'm going to make more TikToks and start doing more Instagram videos, right? Because I know social media works. It's already working for me. And so if I want more success, I'm just going to do more. And this applies to so many things, right? Let's say you're cold calling FSBOs and expireds and you call 1 hour a day every day. Listen, that's really good. That already puts you in the upper echelons of agents. But if you're not getting the results you're looking for, you probably have to do more. You may have to do 2 hours of cold calling or 4 hours of cold calling, right? I mean, it comes down to how much you really want it. So, if you're doing the majority of the things that I'm mentioning and you've been doing them for months and months consistently, you're not seeing results, it could just be that you need to do more than what you expected. I have found it is true. The level of effort required for a high degree of success is more than what we think it's going to be. So don't spread yourself too thin. Pick out lead generation strategies that you enjoy doing to increase the odds you will do it a long time consistently. And then when you get some positive feedback, whether it's you hosted a great open house and you got a great connection and that you have a client, or whether it's you're sending out a great weekly email that a lot of people are opening, double down on it, right? And it doesn't always have to be frequency, but if your newsletter is really working and a lot of people are opening it and it's starting conversations, spend more time on the newsletter, right? It takes you an hour to write. What if you spent 3 hours writing it? How much better could it be? How much better could your response rate be? So when in doubt, do more. All right, y'all, I'm tired from talking. That was a lot, but I honestly think there's a lot of value there. If you really take these things to heart, I think you'll have a way better expectation going into this, right? You'll know what's required of success. You won't expect it to happen before it really should. And I'm telling you, if you can even put a little bit of effort into these 10 things, I would bet money on your success, right? Again, this is not a mystery. That's the beautiful part about real estate sales. Low barrier to entry, and we know exactly what it takes to be successful. You just got to do it. You just got to run the marathon. You got to do the action without seeing the results until you do. So, as always, I hope that provided you value. I wish you the best of luck. And until my next video, I'll see you next time.